Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. We're going to do a quick get ready with me with our Seint cream makeup, and I'm getting ready to go to a doctor's appointment with my husband, so yeah, I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining. Today we're using Seint, and this is the 12 palette. It holds 12 tins, and since I'm in purple, I'm going to do a little bit of a purple theme. So how do you use this cream makeup? These three shades are going to create your one layer of makeup. So I'm going to start with my 3D brush and just tap into what we call my main shade and just put it where we don't normally put, or where we would normally put our regular shade. So we're just going to tap it on. Just a little bit on your brush. A little bit goes such a long way. There we go. Just continue to just fill it in. Now you notice how I have the redness of my rosacea. That sometimes bleeds through, but there's color correctors we can use to get rid of that. I normally don't because I like to get just the regular skin look to where I don't have a lot of makeup on, simply because I am 69 and there's a lot of things I don't want to highlight. So we're just going to continue to just place this where we would put our main shade. There we go. Now your shades would be different because this is custom color matched to you with your skin tones. And so again, your shades would probably be different from mine. Now I have the base on, so we're going to come back and we're going to do a little bit of concealer. So we're going to tap into the concealer, and where does the concealer go? It goes in between your eyebrows, just to brighten, and it goes on the parts of your face where the sun or light hits. Hi, Anna, how are you? I Googled your, when you asked me what those things were, we didn't call them whatever the Z word was. We call them Italian donuts, and they were the best treat for the kids when they were growing up on a Saturday morning. My husband used to make them, which is the Italian in the family. So yeah, that was really cool, but I had to Google it because I'm like, no, I've never heard of these before. We just call them something else, but yes, delicious, delicious they are. That was one of our favorite breakfast treats when the kids were growing up. They would stand around and wait, get the dough made and fry them. And yeah, that was always such a Saturday morning treat, without a doubt. And really, they're good anytime, day or night. I mean, I could eat them as long as they're warm. And of course, the more powdered sugar, the better. You could never get enough. Today is St. Joseph's Day, and in New Orleans, which is the area I grew up in, and I live on the outskirts, is St. Joseph Day, and today is when many of the churches and some private families have a big altar to St. Joseph as a thank you for his blessings or for a kept promise or many things like that. So yeah, it's always March 19th. So we get two days of celebration in the same week with St. Patrick's Day as well as St. Joseph's Day. Okay, now we're going to come back and we're going to grab our contour. So we're just lightly tap into, and we're going to put it on our forehead up against the hairline. Now, always go up into the hairline with your contour or any product. Yes, it does get in my hair sometimes because my hair is gray, but you don't want to leave that white scalp line. You want to make sure that that is covered. Then we're going to come and pinch our brush, tap in our contour, and just catch the cheeks to give us a lift, and to also, there we go, and to also give us that little bit more of a chiseled look. Now, you do see these natural shadows that I have from weight loss. So it also sort of helps blend those in to make it look like it's a part of my makeup, even though it's really not. Again, I just pinch the bristles together of my brush and then go right along the cheekbone to just underneath it. And there we go. Always blend up because we're looking to get that lift. blend up. There we go. Now you can also use it along your jawline. It helps there to sculpt the jaw. I have a jowl and well, on both sides. You can see this little piece right there. It can also kind of move that in and just brings less attention to you. Now I'm going to pinch the other end of of my brush, the domed end, and then come down and contour this nose. See how you want to make it very small. And you want to stay on the top part of the nose. There we go, on either side. And why would we contour our nose? Can you tell the difference? It makes it look just a little bit narrower and just a little bit more of an elongated look. Now, if you have an extremely skinny nose, you don't want to contour it. You can brighten it, but you don't want to contour it because that's really going to make it look like abnormally small. So just for a point of reference there. Okay, so I have my base on, my contour, and my concealer. So we are really good there. Now we need some lip and cheek. This is one of the best shades that, if you like purples, in my opinion, that Seint has ever come up with. And it's called Huckleberry. I love Huckleberry. Okay. Isn't that just the prettiest purple? There we go. Got it on the lips. Now we're going to come up here and we're going to use it as our blush. Again, I like to use my fingers to place it and then come back with my brush to blend. There we go. There we go. All right. Came a little bit too far over. You want to keep it to where it's sort of at the corner of your eye over. If I put it on the apples of my cheeks like we were originally taught, the apples of my cheeks are down here now. So that's just going to drag the eye down. What we want to do is keep everything high and lifted. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure we have it all blended. We need a little bit of mascara, which is right here. This is our Let's Use Seint mascara. Since we're doing Seint, let's do the Seint mascara. Where did I put it? It should be... Well, we're going to use, oh, there it is. It was standing up, not laying down. Seint has 3 mascaras. This is the lengthening and volumizing one. So, see, it's got the pretty Seint emblem on it. It's a larger brush. Okay, so we're just going to come. Now, I probably am not doing this right, but this is how I've been doing my mascara since 1968 when I was old enough to wear mascara. So Old Dog New Tricks isn't going to work on this one. So I like to coat the back side of the lash first. Then come back and go up to the lash line, give it a jiggle and then a drag. A jiggle and then a drag, a jiggle and then a drag. What that does is it gives you a tight line look. Look at the difference. See, a beautiful tight line eyeliner, and you don't have to worry if your hands are not steady, which mine are not. So again, over here, a jiggle and then up. A jiggle, again, pull those lashes up so you can stamp it on the lash line right there. A jiggle and up. There we go. So see how simple and easy. It's the easiest way I know to do eyeliner that's not thick, not heavy, and you don't have to worry about if the line is straight because it's tight lined, it's stamped on there, and it's right at the lash line. So really, it's not noticeable if it's not perfect. There we go. Now, I made a royal mess of the mascara. That's why I usually put it on before I go live because I do make a mess. But let me show you a trick. When you blop your mascara, even if you have done your eyeliner, which if I'm going to make a mess of something, it's going to be when I feel like it's just perfect and I'm ready to go and oh, how wonderful this is. Then the unthinkable happens and you get this mascara line up in your eyeshadow. yes, in your eyeshadow. Remember, mascara is going to dry as a solid. So you want to let it dry, let it air dry, and I don't know that I'm going to have time to let it dry completely since we're not doing eyeshadow today. This side's not terrible, but this side I made a big blob. It will dry to a solid. Once it dries to the solid, then you should be able to just flick it off, and look at that, it's gone. And it works on top of eyeshadow especially. If your eyeshadow is on, let that mascara dry to a solid and then just flick it off. And it will not mess up your eyeshadow. It will be perfect. Because how many times do we come back with the mascara and blop it? I am the world's worst to do it. So anyway, there you go. There is my look for the day. Matter of fact, I'm a little bit shinier than I like to be, so I'm going to come into the new blurring powder by Seint, and I'm just going to use the small end of the blush brush. For eyebrows, I usually use my contour. Right now, I don't have anything because they are microbladed. I think they call it now. When I had it done over 20 years ago, it was, I think they called it permanent makeup. Oh, thank you, Gina. I love purple. Purple's my favorite. I think it really, to me, it complements my hair and my eyes. So there you go. But Sarah, what my eyebrows are, you call it microblading, I think now. But again, mine were done over 20 years ago, so they really don't have a lot of color to them. But I use a small brush, and I use my contour shade. Matter of fact, I can show you that, because here's the small brush that I use. You can just tap into your contour and then come back and fill them in. And look what a difference it makes, just that little bitty bit from one eyebrow to the other. There you go. But I like to fill them in with the contour, and then just like that, where I made the mistake, it wipes right off. But see how tiny this brush is? Teeny, teeny, tiny. And there we go. So this one has contour on it. This one doesn't. It makes such a difference. And again, it's what I already have in my palette. So I'm not buying an extra item. What do I use for lipstick? This is Huckleberry. I love this shade of Huckleberry, Gina. Right here. It's one of the new shades from Seint. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. It's one of the new shades from Seint, and again, this is a really pretty, to me, a pretty purple, and it goes with a light purple, a dark purple, because I love purple. So we're going to come back to the powder. This is Seint's new blurring powder. So we're just going to tap into it, and we're just going to press it on my face. Now, I'm only going to do half of the face, so you can actually see just how it blurs the wrinkles. See? It takes away a lot of the texture. What if you don't have eyebrow hair? I shave them off. I have no eyebrow hair. Yeah, because I shave it off because this is what color it would be, is the color of my hair. My eyebrows are just as gray as my hair is. So I just shave them off when I'm in the shower every day. And you can still use your contour like I just did. It's just that simple. Yeah, I hate when you watch someone and they make everything so complicated, some of the gals, or you see them and they're complaining about their mature skin at 40. I'm 69. Yeah. Honey, it's only going to get worse. That's all I can tell you. I'm really sorry, but it's going to get worse. So this is, to me, making the best of what's available to us. What powder do you like best, Seint or Celeste? Oh, Gina. Celeste. I prefer Celeste's blurring powder, finishing powder, to Seint's. I really do. I feel it blurs better, but some ladies strictly want the powder that will fit in their Seint palettes, and in that case, this is good. Don't get me wrong. Seint is very good. I prefer Celeste between the two. I think it does a better job. It's so finely milled to blur the wrinkles, and I could use all the blurring I can get. So anyway, but let's finish up. We're just getting a little bit of the powder. Now next to it is the vanilla dust setting powder. That's good too, but it doesn't blur. It doesn't blur like Celeste's does, or like the blurring Seint powder does. And again, you don't need much. That's why you want to use a fluffy brush. You don't want to use a real dense one. A real dense one is going to give you that cakey look. Yeah, it's like they're both good. They really are. But if my preference, the one I use the most is the other brand, is Celeste. And there you go. I am just about ready to go, but I like a little bit of eyeshadow. So let's do a really quick eyeshadow. I know my husband's going to be hollering in a minute. He's ready to leave, but he'll just have to wait. Okay, let's grab our eyeshadow brush. And I love lilac, this shade of lilac with the shade of midnight. Midnight is just a really pretty purple. It's a darker purple, but look at that. Look how pretty that is. It almost looks like a grape color. And then I like to draw the line straight up from the corner of the eye and then just blend it over. There we go. Tap it over. I like the darker shade to the outside. It will put a lighter shade on the inside. So again, tap into the midnight shade of eyeshadow. And then we're going to do just a little bit of a blend. Again, if you take your line straight up from the corner of your eye, you're going to get sort of that V look, and you're going to get more color to the other side. I don't bring it over past halfway because you can tell with the hood of my eyes that there you can see it better, the hood of my eyes that hangs down. I like to brighten that with a little bit lighter of a shade, and it's not as noticeable, or at least not to me anyway. So here we go. We're just going to blend, blend, blend. Then for the lighter shade, I like to use my pinky. Something about the lighter shades, whether it's a powder or a shimmer, to me, I have more control with my finger. And see how I just bring it up over. See, you can really see the hood there. I bring it up over so it doesn't accentuate the hood of my eye, that especially in the corners. I tell you what, getting older is not for the faint of heart, definitely. Now, I like to get a little more of a crisper line, there we go, on the exterior, just to give a little bit of that, that darker look, or that V that is so popular. There we go. And I kind of, if you finish when you're doing your darker shade, look straight into your mirror. And just make sure that they're somewhat even. Your eyes are kind of like your eyebrows. They're more cousins rather than sisters. Or they're not twins, they're cousins. So what do you think of the new pigment on lips? They're okay, let's put it that way. I don't know that they're any better. Now, they do stay longer because they do have a little bit of that stain in them. The new pigments with Seint, but as far as saying they're better, I think that's 6 to 1, half dozen the other. They might stay a tad longer, but to me, unless you really, really want them, it's personal preference, I guess. Now, there are some of them, you have to be careful, some of the shades that they don't recommend on the eyes. So, you like the lasting powder? Yeah, long lasting. And that's one of the things that they're saying, because these shades are extremely pigmented. The ones I tried once I put them on originally, I was a little bit afraid of them because there was so much color. And I wasn't exactly sure that that's what I wanted. But I have to say it does last longer than the usual lip and cheeks. I don't have all of the shades, but the few that I purchased, yeah, it's okay. Now, the other thing that you can do is with the cream lip and cheeks is you can take a little bit of your eyeshadow. There you go. And deepen it just a little bit if you want. That will make it stay as well longer on your lips than they usually do. So great questions. Anybody else have any questions while we're on here? And I'm trying to get this one eye. This eye to me goes on perfect every time. This eye, I don't know. I just always have to fuss with it. But again, like I say, your eyebrows and your eyes are like again, they're not twins. They're like, I guess you'd say cousins. Oh, okay, great. That's great. Oh, you did order the ones not recommended for eyes. Yeah, and again, those would be more popular lip shades, I would think. Well, let's fill in this other eyebrow while I have y'all, because again, if not, I'll forget. So, all righty, let's fill in. And again, I'm just using the contour, something I already use and already have in my palette with this teeny tiny brush. And we're just going to make little hair strokes because I don't have eyebrow hairs. There we go. And we're just going to like paint it on. So I like to kind of take my finger and blot it after just to give it more of a natural look. So there you go. Now, I don't know, it looks like I have, again, the shape is close, but it's not exact. Nobody's eyebrows are. And because I think they measure from your eyes, and your eyes aren't exact. So there you go. Just the issues of being a woman. There you go. Okay, I appreciate you so much for joining me today. Normally you start with Seint with 3 shades, a brightener, a main shade, and a contour. And you pick the lip and cheek, and you need a 3D brush. Other than that, that's it. But you do need to be color matched because your shades are going to be different from mine because, again, it is custom color matched to you. The color matches are free. If you'd like one, let me know. Just I'll have a number in the copy, I think up here, down here, wherever. I'll have a number for you to text #match, and it will automatically send you the link for the color match form. You fill out 2 or 3 questions, send me a makeup-free selfie in natural light. Again, it is totally free and no obligation to buy. I'm so happy to color match you if you would like. And if you buy, I think that's wonderful. You'll love this makeup. If you don't, that's okay too. Let's just keep following me and let's be friends. You be the reason someone smiles today. I thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.